Let's get it. All right. Gotta get the... And we're on. Or are
Hello. We are on.
Ow, fucking Jesus, ain't it? All right. Hey, welcome to another episode of Recap, where I, Liz from Liz Was Streaming, and my co-host August from No Channel. They don't exist. We review Dynamite. Sometimes there's another person here. I will explain. Oh, what? I'll explain who my friend is in just a second. I gotta tell you about Recap, the show where a bunch of fucking idiots talk about a wrestling show that happened, but usually sometimes it's always Dynamite. We missed last week. Not that a lot happened last week. It's
John
fine.
Moxley was there. That's it. Moxley was there. That was cool.
Yeah,
I fell
Wardlow
instantly
did a
in love.
Wardlow was
That was
there.
it.
Yeah. Liz, can I be VIP? Stop asking for things. I'm kidding. I'll see what I can do after the stream. I can't do it right now. Today we're talking about episode of AEW Dynamite that happened a few hours ago. It was pretty alright, actually. It was a lot better than some other episodes that we've seen as of the recent. Today is January 26th, Wednesday.
That is correct, yes. You got it.
This is a good episode.
First try. Hole in one.
I'm tired. Today's special guest is one that you have seen in the chat many times. This is my friend Daisy.
I've been on 2 streams at this point, but this is the first time I'm physically being seen.
Not only
Hello.
the technical creator of this show, because you think I fucking named this show? Absolutely not. I went into this person's DMs and I said, help, I need help naming a thing. And you said, we're like, I thought you should name a recap, what you like? And I was like, that's brilliant. And that's what we went with. And me being holy shit, Daisy's real. That's what I'm saying. I've never met someone with that name in my life, other than like that bitch who drives the car on the boat.
In Mario Kart?
Daisy's not even my real name.
I'm sorry, Rachel? Is that better? God! You literally were like, oh, we're using our made-up names? I'm Spider-Man. Okay, asshole. You sit up on a throne of lies, aren't you? It's gonna blow everyone's mind when I tell them my name's not Elizabeth. Sorry. Spoilers. I'm something of a liar myself. Anyways, we're here to talk about Dynamite. What the fuck was the opening segment? Oh yeah, they just went straight into the ladder match. We had a ladder match to crown the...
Liz, do you have a candle?
No, I don't. I just have the remnants of the incense I burned on yesterday's stream. Do you have a candle?
I do have a candle. I have a candle.
What is it?
It's gilded cinnamon. It smells like cinnamon. It's pretty good.
Then what the fuck does gilded smell like?
I have no fucking clue. Gold? Maybe? I don't think gold smells like anything.
Good, smells like metal.
I don't think I've ever, interacted with anything made of real gold in any significant capacity. I wouldn't know.
You know, when I was in chemistry class, many of the years ago in my youth, I was taught, because we were learning about the periodic table, right? And I fucking loved chemistry. And the way that my teacher explained to me, hey, this is how you can remember that the abbreviation on the periodic table for gold is AU, come back here with my gold watch. I was like, this woman literally was like, do you want to know how to remember gold on the periodic table? Just pretend you're being mugged, okay? And that's how you'll remember. Loved this woman. She was amazing. But now you've learned a science facts, science with Kev.
Science fact. My drink of the day is water.
I also have water, but it's almost empty.
Yeah, nice water. I'm drinking this out of a giant glass jar. I took a sip of that earlier and saw it on the camera. And I was like, does this look like I'm drinking fucking moonshine or some shit? But it's just water. It's just water. It's water.
On a scale of crusty to crab, how crusty was Cody's hair? It literally looked like... So you know how in Monsters, Inc., when they're they get cast out and they're hanging out with the Yeti, and the Yeti makes lemon snow cones? It's giving lemon piss Yeti snow cone.
Yeah. Cody, please invest in some conditioner, please. They make it for dyed hair. Like, you don't have to get your roots done that often.
Shit was horrific. All right, so we started with the TNT title match for the who is the undisputed TNT champion ladder match
Undisputed
with
Era.
apparently, even though they haven't announced it on TV, their faction name is Paragon. What a shitty name.
What a shitty
Anyways,
name.
Daisy, tell me what you thought about this fucking ladder match, dude.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was like a scary, fantastic way to actually start the show. Like there were several times where I just sat there, just like holding my breath, like, what is happening? What are you doing? Stop, stop, stop. And then they did it.
They did some dangerous shit.
So I'll admit, for like maybe the first like 5-6 minutes of the match, I wasn't fucking paying attention at all. I was playing Pokemon. I was trying to catch a Kyogre. Still haven't caught it. It's an asshole. But I happened to look up at some point, and Sammy does this like ungodly cutter from the top of a ladder to
From the
Cody
top of the
from the
fucking
top
ladder.
of another ladder, and it was the damnedest coolest fucking thing I've ever
he
seen.
he was on there was the big ladder in the middle that was like 10 feet, I think they said, some crazy height like that, and then there was a little ladder next to that, and then there was the turnbuckle. Sammy goes from the top of the turnbuckle, jumps to the top of the little ladder, and then jumps from the top of the little ladder over to Cody, who's on the big ladder, and gives him a cutter, and it was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
And they
Well, not
filmed
ever
it
seen, but it was just like
perfectly
so
too.
cool.
Like
Yeah,
they filmed him
There were,
up in
like,
there, and then
really
it
good.
switched to the side cam to see them
Yeah.
falling down. I was like, that's
There
class.
was like so many things that could have gone wrong with that spot. Like 20 different things that even if it was like the smallest little thing that was wrong, the whole move would not have worked.
The fact
And
that
somebody
nobody
might have
like
get seriously
died
hurt.
or got seriously injured.
Yeah.
On that
It's just-
other bump where Sammy jumps from the top of the turnbuckle onto Cody where he's on a ladder and Sammy hits his back on the ladder, I was like,
No,
that's
what
how you
makes
go
that-
to the hospital.
What
that
makes
that
worse
hurt Sammy
is
more
he
than it
was-
hurt Cody.
Yeah, it did.
He jumped from, I think, another 10-foot
was it a
ladder
ladder?
that was right next.
Jesus.
Yes, it was the very, very top of the ladder. He didn't like jump from halfway on the rungs or anything. It was the very, very top of this huge ladder, and he jumps down back first. If Cody would have moved, we might have saw the death of a wrestler.
Dude, fucking bonker billies. And like it's insane that like I have heard that like Sammy's mentality when he wrestles, like he's young enough to where he's like, if I get hurt, I'll go to the hospital and then I'll be fine. You can go to the hospital while you're fucking paralyzed, but that does not mean you'll be okay.
Yeah, that's kind of terrifying.
My dad said that he thinks Sammy and Darby Allin are in a race to see who could die in the ring first.
That's horrific.
Honestly, you ain't wrong.
I'm just impressed that they managed to make me pay attention to this match, because once that cutter happened, I was watching the whole match. Before it, I was just like, I mean, you know.
All of the spots Sammy did, he deserved to win for those alone.
And then Cody did a fucking crossroads between two ladders off of them, and I was like, okay,
cool.
okay.
That was really good.
And then he suplexed Sammy in the ladder was like this, like kind of close, and he suplexed him into like the little hinges.
Yeah, just
that
ow.
That could have hurt Sammy real bad.
And the part where like Sammy jumps onto Cody's back, and then like the ladder comes out from under them, and they're hanging on the titles. I was like, if I was ever in this situation, if I was ever in this situation, my ass would drop like lead. I'm not hanging on. I would fall and die.
Funny story. So I was talking with my dad about the match, and I was like, these are some ladder match bumps that you've never seen before. And then the only other ladder match bump I can think of that is cooler than the bumps here is the TLC Jeff Hardy Edge
when he
spear
speared him?
spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, right as I said that, they were hanging from the title thing.
Oh, what's this? Out of
Um,
nowhere, here comes Fuego. Gets a ladder, goes up, tornado DDTs both of them off of the fucking, like, hanging thing. Could you imagine that? Oh, also, Fuego del Sol shows up in this match, and Cody
he
just,
did.
like, kills him for
He's just
no
like, who the
reason.
fuck is
Just like,
this? Who is this asshole? Also, during that match, I texted Liz and I said, those ladders don't have safety stickers on them, which means they aren't OSHA compliant. If the fire marshal showed up, he would be very unhappy.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Because that's what's concerning to me.
as someone who is OSHA certified, they're not taking fucking ladder precautions. This is insulting.
They're not.
This is like
Yeah,
when
like
Cody wasn't, or fucking Kenny wasn't forklift certified. He didn't know the proper, like, I can't.
I think there was a forklift in one of those like street fight matches. The
Yeah.
one I'm thinking of is like the genie lift bit. But yeah, it's like, hey, important safety precautions
Let's
are
let's
not
be
being
not
taken.
stupid about this, okay?
As I've said earlier, logic in a wrestling match? Come on.
You know,
Too much to ask for. Yeah.
These boys have no. Wrestling is just filled of himbos. That is just all wrestling is just a bunch of himbos.
love
I
a
do
bunch
love a
of
himbo. I love a himbo.
dum-dums. Oh, by the way, Sammy Guevara won this match and became the undisputed TNT champion.
Which surprised me.
Great.
I
Yeah, me
genuinely
too.
thought Cody was gonna win.
I mean, like, that's
Yeah,
that's cool and all, but also it's just like, I mean, we did get this sick ass ladder match out of it, but also like, we had Sammy lose the title to Cody, and for what? Like, for him
Yeah.
to be a champion for a month and then, albeit lose it back in a cool match, but like, okay, sure.
Yeah, there's some weird things about Cody, which we could have a whole episode of this dedicated to, just figuring out what the fuck is Cody Rhodes.
If
What
we're
is
having
up
an
with
episode
Cody?
dedicated to Cody Rhodes, I'm just talking about 2018 evil slut Cody Rhodes, okay? He's like, I
Fair
code on
enough.
his Ibushi till I stop! And then it's just Kenny, really mad the whole time. Like, I can't believe you said that about my boyfriend. It's just,
Evil
anyways.
slut Cody Rhodes is the only Cody Rhodes
He's
in
the
my
only
heart.
Cody Rhodes that exists, unless it's
List
Stardust.
of
I can't wait
Kenny's
for
partners
Stardust
who
to
I
be
have
in the
known
Royal Rumble.
carnally.
I can't wait for Stardust to be in the
Adrenaline
Royal Rumble.
in my soul. What the fuck is Cody Rhodes?
Adrenaline.
I was so
I
proud of
don't
that when I made
know.
that up. I don't remember when. Oh, it was during his weird promo he had like last week.
Was it last week? I figured you were
I don't
talking.
remember.
Listen, you could have been mentioning any Cody Rhodes promo, any of them, like the fucking
And it's
infamous
just like, dude,
one
what the fuck
where
are you
he's
talking
like,
about?
where at the end everyone was like, I can't believe that this promo solved racism, and then Brandy's like tweeting, like, I am so moved. I can't wait for my daughter to be old enough to understand this. I'm like, this is, I'm emotional, and everyone was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Speaking of Cody Rhodes,
tried.
I always forget just how ugly his neck tattoo is, and then I see it on the TV, and I'm like, oh yeah, it is that bad.
The
Like, I
one
don't
true
see it for a
thing.
long time, and then suddenly I see it, and it just absolutely disgusts me.
The one true thing that Dan Lambert has ever said in his entire life is that Cody Rhodes really went and got a fucking Transformers logo tattooed on his neck.
Insane
really
that he
did.
just decided to do that and thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, also, the dye job. The fucking fried and dyed, like, crispy bleach blonde. It's just, it's
Remember
a
that one week
choice.
he had dark hair? It's the 1 week.
I missed that.
1 week
Like, when he had that.
That was like when he was in his feud with Brody Lee. I think that's when he got the belt back. He just came out with dark hair and had it for like 2 weeks and then went right back.
Absolutely.
And everybody was just like, is Cody going heel? And then he just didn't.
And then he was like, and we were, okay, fine.
They say that like people are always like, oh, is Cody a face? Is he turning heel? Like, what's going on? But it's like,
He's
Cody
just
may
Cody
be a face,
Rhodes.
but nobody likes him. It's just Cody. Like, I love how, like, in this match when they announced like the two people and everything, like people booed for like both people.
They were like,
Yeah.
Yeah, neither of these guys. I'm not the biggest
uh,
fan of Sammy, but I think I like him a bit better than Cody. I don't know. Cody.
he had some cute horse shorts on tonight. They were good. I
Yeah,
liked the red
red
leopard
leopard
print.
print. Slut. Love it. Slut
Sammy's
rights.
got some good gear.
I will
He's kind
admit.
of one, he almost never misses on his gear.
I like how rich the colors are. They're usually like a very
Yeah.
pretty color.
Yeah.
After this, Tony Schiavone is out in front of a fucking like lake or a beach or something. It's -1 degrees out. It's snowing, and they're at a beach for beach break. And he's interviewing Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. And first of all, Ricky and Hobbs are dressed in the most amazing outfits, freezing to death, but they look great. And I
Ricky
was
was probably warm.
shocked.
Ricky was probably warm. Will Hobbs, I don't know why he decided just having full boob out in the middle of
But
a snowing
the
beach.
boob,
But
okay, first of all,
sir.
the boob
It's a
out
moment.
with the fur jacket, it was
Yeah.
everything. It was giving. And they're just
Yeah.
talking, and they lay out challenges to Dante Martin and Jay Lethal. We only care about one of those. And then next up, here comes fucking Wardlow, because we're in Cleveland, and he's like, "Oh, I'm from Cleveland. I'm a big old bitch." And then he beats up two jobbers really quickly. Nice old powerbomb symphony. Apparently their names were
Look angry,
Elijah
though.
Dean and James Alexander. I will
And
give
then
them their full names.
Sean Spears like comes up and is like, "Yo, we did it," and Wardlow's like, "What the fuck are you talking about, we?" And then they leave. I would like to mention today I learned that Wardlow that is his real last name. His legal name is Michael Wardlow.
Oh my god.
And like Wardlow sounds like a badass like wrestler name, and he's like
That
the
does
War
not
Dog
sound
and
like
all
a
that.
real
But like,
name.
yeah, that's his real ass. That's his last name.
He's like, "I'm the
What
War
a hell
Dog.
of a last
I'm
name.
huge. I'll beat your ass." And then someone like across the street's like, "Hey, Michael," and he's like, "Hi." Why are you coming out
This
to?
man.
Can he like be like Walter was and just come out to Michael? All capitals.
All caps. Like
Oh my
ketchup.
god, I would root for a guy named Michael, all caps, because that's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
That's a power move.
Basically, what I'm learning is that Wardlow just was born just a scary, beefy. Like he was destined to
He
become
came
the man
out.
he is
Okay,
He
today.
came out like a 20-pound, like muscly, scary baby.
I actually learned
Exactly.
in
With
the
the last name of Wardlow, there's
okay
no other
in
way to
the
come out.
in the same like interview that I learned that from. He talks about how like he didn't start bulking up until like his like junior senior year of high school, and when he was like a high school freshman, he was like 5'2" and like tiny.
Oh my
I
god!
want to
and just
see
like
like
these pictures. I
need
need to
it.
see these pictures.
it's like
This is
fucking
the
pre-soldier serum Steve Rogers. It's like a pre-jacked Wardlow. He's just like a
Yeah.
little guy.
This is the Chris Van Vliet interview that he did. If anyone wants to look that up,
Pre-jacked Wardlow is just Peter Avalon. Anyways, so Sean Spears comes down after the match and is like, "I want to hit these guys," and Wardlow's like, "No," and they're like, "Okay," and they leave because we have to make room for our fucking next match, which was a trios match. It was Daniel Garcia and 2.0 versus the Inner Circle. It was Chris Jericho
Well,
and Proud and Powerful.
I won't lie. I forgot 2.0 and Garcia was having this match until earlier today.
I'm mad
I
that they
did
didn't
not-
give them an entrance theme. I wanted to hear
Dang.
fucking Crimson Extinction. That's a good song.
I did not pay very much attention to this match.
I'm gonna be real, neither did I.
I mean, like Santana and
paid
Ortiz are
attention.
there. Yeah,
Well, thank you
Santana
for
and
braving
Ortiz
it
are
for
good.
us, Daisy. Tell us about it
Thank
since
you,
you
Daisy.
actually watched it.
It actually wasn't a bad match. Santana and Ortiz made it a point the whole match to never tag in Chris Jericho.
I did.
Like, they
I
were
did
very
notice that. I liked
clearly-
that.
Yeah, they were very clearly not happy with Jericho at all.
And they're right for that. They should not be happy.
I'm bad with remembering moves, so it's not gonna be all that. But there were some neat double team moves from both 2.0 and Pride and Powerful. I'm bad at remembering the actual wrestling part. I just know like the big. I think there
Like,
was
the
one
big
point.
point of it was like, oh, we're not gonna tag you in, you old sweaty man.
Yeah.
And then Chris, like,
Yeah.
goes like a Karen at a fucking, or no, more accurately, he's like a Brian Pillman Jr. at a Starbucks, and he's like, how come it's not open? And then, like, CM Punk comes along and says, is this cancel culture? And then just destroys his entire career so much that he wasn't even on the show tonight! It was just the other members of Varsity Blondes.
Griff and Julia were there.
Which I was hollering over. And he's just like, I can't believe that you didn't tag me in, Santana. I'm gonna walk away. And then he was like, oh shit, they're getting their asses beat. I gotta do a Judas effect. And I gotta pull Jeff Parker out of the ring. And I gotta do all these things. And then, you know, eventually Santana and Ortiz win. And that's cool. That's
Apparently,
great.
there was one point where Jericho tagged himself in and did some moves, but then one of them was like, no, you get back there.
You gotta stay in your plate. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I do remember, like, right before the end, like, one of the 2.0 guys was, like, up against the ropes, and Jericho, like, goes and, like, grabs his legs or something and trips him up, and then, like, they get the pin. And it's all like, oh, you needed Jericho to get the pin, you didn't appreciate him, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, they would have been fine.
They would have
been all right.
You know.
My thing with that ending was like I wasn't like the biggest fan of them having Jericho help them win, but at the same time I like kind of get why they did it to start building for Santana and Ortiz leaving.
They
Yeah,
should
they need to,
like they should have let like tonight should have been the night that they left.
But they need to like feel the tension there a little bit. I get that.
Yeah.
I've been feeling tension since the day they joined the group.
I'm glad that they didn't have Chris Jericho come in, tag himself in, and do the whole like last second like I'm the hero now and just get the win for them.
Chris Jericho.
Them having him help Santana and Ortiz win was a much better choice out of the two. Also glad that it wasn't Daniel Garcia that took the pinfall.
I'm also glad for that. That would have been very upsetting. Was it like Matt Lee?
Yeah, it was Matt.
My poor boy. And every time I see him now, I fucking think of the tweet that I made like 2 weeks ago where I said we should get Matt Lee to say balsamic vinegar. Every time I see him, I think balsamic vinegar. Every fucking time. It's a problem. After this, we get a promo from Lance Archer, and he's like, "Hey, motherfucker! I'm gonna beat your ass, okay? You don't even understand! I'm putting you in a Texas death match. I'm going home, and I'm taking you with me." And then the camera goes to a clip from Hangman, and he's like, "Hey, Lance, I'm also gonna beat your ass." And then the person behind the camera says, "It's gonna be a Texas death match, you know?" And Hangman goes, "A what?" like he's horrified by the idea. That was hilarious. But then he starts going.
A father.
That man has a father. He is no. I was almost said he is a father. He is a baby. I mixed up that fucking John Mulaney quote real hard. This man is now a father. He has a baby.
And I said, my dad is a father.
Slammed it on the ground and yelled, "Scar!"
Yo, you're not even gonna believe it. My dad is named Dad, and your dad is named Dad. Don't freak out, bro, but I think we're related.
Okay, but he does the like, wait, a what? And then it like cuts to more clips of like him and Archer like fucking throwing him through a chair or whatever, and he's like, I am going to go through 9 levels of agony and bring hell back up with me. And like,
allow me. I actually transcribed this because I always do that when he says something like insane in his matches. But like, I know, I know. Shut up. You're so mean to me. But
I'm being homophobic.
Basically. But Hangman is just like, I like that he's the kind of champion where he's like, he doesn't stray from a fight. Like, he wants to fight. He wants to get down and dirty. He wants to have the bloodiest title reign. He's like, dude, I got something to prove. Maybe to myself more than to others, but you know what? I got to do this. And even though he's still retaining like his original traits where he's like, a what? Like genuinely scared. I'd be scared too if I was told to be in a Texas death match. Are you kidding me?
With fucking Lance Archer?
The last Texas death match that Lance Archer was in was against Jon Moxley, where he beat Moxley for the US title. I'd be pretty fucking scared of a guy who beat Jon Moxley, you know? But
yeah, in a death death match, because like that's fucking Moxley's bag. Like,
yeah, exactly. But after that, after he goes, a what? He kind of like collects himself, and then he goes right into the, you say that everybody dies, then give me the blackout, choke slam me into the abyss. I don't care, because I will climb out of all 9 layers of hell. What the fuck is it? I will climb back through all 9 layers and bring hell with me. That's Shakespearean. He said, I'm bringing Dante's Inferno and all of the demons with me as my homeboys to kick your ass. Like, that's kind of cool for a champion to do. I'm sweating. It's January. Well, you know what? It's beach break, so maybe I'm sweating because we're on a beach right now. On location.
Oh, yeah.
A beach.
Beach time, boys.
And then there's another fucking promo with Christian Cage and Jurassic Express backstage talking to Matt Hardy and Private Party. And
they talk about the ass boys.
They're all talking about the ass boys, which clue
the
in
brother's
for
ass.
later, big boy. Matt Hardy says something like,
that'll help us later.
It was. Matt Hardy says something about like he's like something about the Hardy Boys. And I'm like, oh, we're bringing up the Hardy Boys? Okay, I see. And this basically sets up that the match that's on Friday at Beach Break, Jurassic Express and Private Party for the tag titles. Hooray, hurrah, hooroo. Also, Jungle Boy said that Isaiah Cassidy's watch is fake. He said, yo, your watch is fake. And he was like, that was the most offensive thing he'd ever heard.
Really quick.
He says, hey, Matt gave that to me.
Can we talk about Jungle Boy's fit really quick? He wore his ring gear, his leopard trunks, a white t-shirt, and a hoodie. He went like half normal, half wrestler.
Business in the front, party in the back.
He's got a... And then Isaiah Cassidy's on Twitter talking about pounding his ass again to the point where Anna Jay comments and goes, stop.
I didn't...
Which was funny.
Okay, wait, what was the line from later? I need to see that. Cause there was something that was going down in the books along with Fist Me Boys and 69 Me Don.
Oh, during the main event, there was a clip on so on Twitter you can have like clips that have like special names, so you can like search the clips up and find them like through AEW's Twitter. And I shit you not, AEW named the clip of Adam Cole squishing Orange's fingers between the ring apron and the stairs, Adam Cole fingers Orange Cassidy. I'm not...
Deleted it, by the way.
They did delete it, and I was heartbroken, but they unironically actually named it that.
Okay, I didn't know, because I just now discovered that, and I genuinely thought that something like of him actually like doing something like that as like a tactic.
The Acclaim
I thought he actually did that. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, what? I never noticed that, but now that makes more sense.
But we'll get into the main event at the end. Now we're on to CM Punk and his whole thing. And Punk's like, hello, Cleveland. And it's like, cool. But he's talking about this.
They said Cleveland like 20 times in this whole segment.
You gotta let people know that you're in Cleveland. You know, you gotta get that home, like that make them feel special. Because you'll always get a pop when you say the name of the place that you're in. Because it's like, oh my god, I'm from there, you know?
That's here, that's us.
Because, you know, every single person who lives in Ohio makes being from Ohio their personality trait.
Sorry, Daisy. I'm not commenting on this.
Sorry to you.
For
At some
context,
point, the
I
Acclaimed
am
had a
from
promo.
and
When did that
currently
fall?
live
Because I
in
feel like that was.
Cincinnati, Ohio. For anybody who's unaware.
I
Skyline
mean,
Chili! Mid! Anyways,
mid.
August,
God,
tell us what
imagine.
you thought about this.
I mean, imagine making being from Kansas City a huge part of your personality, or like having a
People
shirt
already
with like
fucking
KC
do,
logo on
okay?
it,
They
or anything
do. They
like
do
that.
that.
I know. I'm giving shit to Ruby specifically.
Ruby,
That's what I'm
Ruby,
doing right
Ruby,
now.
Ruby.
Yavland. So I had
But
a
yeah.
sign for that, and those were really good.
Okay, so CM Punk, he comes out. He's in his ring gear. He's wearing the long boys, and he says he's wearing the long boys. He's like, "Yep, I'm out here. I'm ready for a fight. I'm in the long boys, not the CM Trunks tonight."
Ew.
Yeah, he's ready to fucking. And he's like, "MJF, you're a fucking pussy ass bitch. Come out here. Let me let me pound your ass on Christmas night." And MJF is like, he comes out and he's like, "You're stupid. You're an idiot. You're like." Oh, also last week, CM Punk stole MJF's scarf, and he's like, "Oh yeah, your scarf is cheap. I can find them on Amazon for like $5." Um,
They're just as cheap
bullshit.
as your personality, and I was like, okay, I'm listening.
Mhm. Yeah. But then like MJF comes out and he's like, "I'm not gonna like I'm in my suit. I'm dressed up. They call me Ranch because I be dressing.
Ew.
I'm not gonna fight you right now. I'm not gonna go into the back and change into my gear and come out and fight you. But I will fight you next week in Chicago." And he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna take it to your hometown. We're gonna take it to Chicago. Because you abandon your fans all the time and are a shitty person." He mentions the lawsuit with
Colt Cabana.
yeah, Colt
That
Cabana, but
mess.
doesn't mention that it's actually with Colt Cabana.
He just mentions
Um,
the lawsuit, and it's just like,
yeah.
whoa,
I think
okay.
at first it was a lawsuit against WWE, but then it turned into one against Cole Cabana.
Yeah.
It's a huge mess.
It's
Hmm.
a lot.
Yeah, but then like Punk is like, "Oh, you're so stupid, and you're a fan, and you're gonna like trot your ass out and watch me no matter what I do," and jazz. Um, and then MJF is like, "Fuck you. Everybody, my boys go out and fight him." So Sean Spears and FTR run in and they're like beating him up, and Wardlow comes in and he is like standing in the corner and staying out of it and not doing anything. And Wardlow is from Cleveland, and AEW loves a hometown hero story. So a lot of people were thinking that like Wardlow's face turn is gonna be tonight. He's gonna start his messy divorce with MJF.
And he
Um,
didn't.
he didn't.
He
MJF is
implied
like,
it. It's
yeah,
happening. I swear
hmm
it. It's
it
gonna
is
happen
happening. I
next
mean,
week.
there's definitely tension there. There's tension. Um, Wardlow is like, or MJF is like, "Wardlow, what the fuck are you doing while you're just standing there? Go powerbomb him." So Wardlow gives him one very remorseful powerbomb through a chair, and then is like, "Nope, I'm out." um, and like, yeah, and then MJF sits down on top of CM Punk and
It's
crosses his
cross
legs.
applesauces.
Yeah,
He
he like
pulls a
sits down.
Kenta, essentially.
Yeah, fellas, is it gay? Anyway, I want MJF to sit on me. What? Who? I didn't say
Whoa,
that.
hey, whoa,
Anyway,
whoa, whoa!
what?
Oh
What?
my god! I wasn't
I,
ready for
I,
that.
I prefer Wardlow. Anyway,
Whoa!
yeah, he's like, "See you in Chicago, bitch." Um, I'm kind of thinking because like the Chicago match is going to be kind of like the culmination of the feud between MJF and Punk that's been going on for a while. Maybe in that match we'll see something with Wardlow where he like,
He's probably gonna cost
goes
him the
and like,
match.
Or like,
yeah, he goes and like grabs
Punk will,
MJF's leg or
or
something.
sorry, Max will be like, "Hey, do this for me," and Wardlow's gonna be like, "No," and then leave, and he'll be like, "I can't believe you've done this." Also, Punk calling MJF Max, I need more people to do that. I need more people to just call him Max. I liked that. And I also liked that Punk was, like, getting into it too. He's like, "'Cause you're a fan. 'Cause you're a mark. Because you stood in line to get my autograph and take pictures with me. 'Cause you're a fan." And I'm like, "Show the picture! Show the picture! Show the picture!" And they didn't.
They didn't. Unfortunate.
But
Deeply
I liked
unfortunate.
that. And it's also interesting that MJF kind of goes on like a little bit of a history thing, like along with that lawsuit. He's also like, it's funny that you're here in Cleveland when you already let Cleveland down, and it's insane that they even forgave you for that. And that's like a reference to like when CM Punk originally walked out of the Fed, it was that show happened to be in Cleveland. So it's like, oh wow, it's crazy when we remember things and there is history to be brought upon. That's fascinating.
Hmm. Although CM Punk was absolutely justified in that because fuck the Fed.
It do be like
That's all
that
I'm saying.
sometimes.
That's all we're saying about that.
Next, there's a promo for the Acclaimed, Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. Anthony Bowens says that that John Moxley looks like a character from Hey Arnold, and I thought that was funny. I was like, what a specific and niche reference. But that's great. He does look like that. He does look like that guy.
Who did he say he looked like?
One of the characters from Hey Arnold, his name's Oscar.
I don't. I.
Um,
Oh my god! Oh my god! He's right.
Doesn't he look like that guy? He was
Yes.
he
right.
does. The Acclaimed have had beef with John Moxley before, and I find it so funny that it's like these these two like funky little dudes who wear like pink sparkly gear and rap for their entrance have beef with like the okay, he's actually not that old. Uh I don't know if we've discussed it on the show, but John Moxley is 36 years old. He's younger than Orange Cassidy. He
I
the
don't
years
like
have not
that.
been kind to that man. Yeah, but
I don't
like,
like knowing that.
That's
yeah, he's
fucking
younger than
crazy.
Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy is 37,
Ew.
John Moxley is 36. Um,
Ew.
Old man. Sorry, what? Old.
yeah, like, but like the Acclaimed are like, they're youths and they're just like, fucking
Youthans.
old man, what are you doing?
Hey, you
Um,
man who's married and has a kid. Fuck you. And
uh,
Moxley's like, I'm busy.
I only
Gosh.
I only remember that the Acclaimed have had beef with Moxley before because I remember watching the rap before that match and because John Moxley's wife Renee has a podcast called Oral Sessions,
Yeah.
and
Oh my
like one
god,
of the
that
lines in
line
their
was
rap
so
is
good.
like Renee is hitting me up for some oral sessions. What?
That
She just
line
wants
was
us to
real
be on your
good.
She just
podcast.
was. I do remember that.
Max Caster can be good and creative when he wants to be.
It's just
Occasionally
sometimes
he
his
can.
creativity goes into the wrong things. It's just. Anyways, after that, Mark Sterling, like a little fucking dork, comes up to Julia Hart and Grifford the dog Garrison, and he's like, my uh a simp of my affection, Jade Cargill, has handpicked you, my lucky lady, to be her next opponent for the TNT title. Please sign here and sign here. Don't forget to dot the I's and slash your T's.
Also, he had a neck brace. I don't remember when he got the neck
I
brace,
don't
but
remember that either.
it's also
Yeah, no.
important to note, right before Julia signed, Griff Garrison was like, I don't know if that's a good idea considering you have one eye. And she was like, you shut. I can talk for myself. And
Yeah,
then she
like he's
signed him.
tried to be
And we
like a
love to
big
see it.
brother about it. He's like, hey, I don't think you should do this. And she's like, I didn't ask, actually, and signs it. And I'm like, oh, she gonna get her ass beat right by Jade, like in a minute and a half. It's gonna be sad.
Oh yeah,
Also,
she's gonna get fucking smacked.
PB&J was not there, as we said before. We don't know why, but I like to think it's because he got shamed on Twitter so
He
hard that he
couldn't
couldn't show
he
his
could
face
not
at
be in the
work,
same building as CM Punk.
which that's funny. After that, we go to another match, which is Layla Hirsch and Red Velvet. And the biggest thing I have to say about this match is that the crowd was so fucking quiet that it hurt a lot. It's like, hey,
Hmm.
have some equal opportunity here for all of the segments. Like, really? Okay.
To be
Yeah.
fair, AEW hasn't really built Layla or Velvet up enough to get the crowd excited.
They could have at least
Well,
cheered for
yeah.
those banger-ass themes, though. That's no excuse.
You right.
Yeah, there are problems with the crowd, there are also problems with the booking. Like,
Yeah.
the audience and the company both have a women problem.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
is also another whole topic we can make an entire episode on.
Mm-hmm.
Just woof. Woof.
Yeah. But I mean, I really like Red Velvet. She's wonderful. Her theme song is banging. Although, for her entrance, they started playing her theme song, and then she just like runs into the ring and like attacks Layla, and she didn't do her little stirred up thing or any of
And
that.
they didn't even get to
Just
say "From Your Mama's Kitchen," and that's like,
yeah,
sad.
disappointing.
Saddening.
Yeah.
The match itself was pretty alright though.
Yeah. Layla Hirsch giving us short queen representation.
I think it was a little bit short.
I
I
it was an
didn't pay
8-minute
much
match.
attention. Oh, then yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah. Could be
But at the
worse.
same
Could be
time,
better.
for the way that the match was built and everything, that kinda feels like a decent time for it.
Hmm.
That makes any sense?
Yeah, like with kind of like how the rivalry has been going and who the rivalry has been going with and all that. Like, it's kind of obviously leading up to because like the main issue is between Chris and Layla. So it
Mm-hmm.
like the match kind of just served to like hype that up. And can I say, when Chris Statlander ran in at the end to help her girlfriend Red Velvet, she was looking so good.
I love
Like,
girlfriends saving girlfriends. I
I,
love that. I love that people have friends. Friendship is
mhm,
so dope, and the fact that
friendship
people
is
in this
magic.
company have friends. The good
Hmm.
guys have friends, the bad guys have friends. The only people that don't have friends are genuinely unlikable motherfuckers who no one would want to be friends with.
Like Chris Jericho.
No one wants to be his friend. Nobody.
Except
Yeah,
Jake
I.
Hager.
We ain't seen Jake Hager on TV. I don't believe he exists anymore. It's like Object Permians.
Still don't get why he has 3 action figures.
Absolutely
Yeah, there's
bonker billies, isn't it?
at my at
Yeah.
my local Target, there has been a Jake Hager action figure sitting on the shelf for like 3 months now.
That's so
Nobody has
adorable.
touched
Who
it.
asked for 1, let alone 3?
Mm-hmm.
That makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Next, we have a pre-taped promo with Malachi Black speaking about Brody King, and he's like, in the House of Black, we're basically like a sex cult. That's not true. That's not what he said. He's just like, we believe in chaos and violence and all of these like spooky
This
dooky
was
things.
cool as hell.
And he's
They
like,
showed a
he
clip of
literally,
Julia.
yeah, they did show a clip of Julia. I was like,
I
I
want
wonder
evil
what that
Julia.
means.
I want evil Julia so bad. Like,
It's like, you know
fucking.
how like every cheerleader is portrayed as terrible? Like take
Hmm.
that trope, but actually make it interesting.
Yeah,
Do like a Jennifer's Body, like. Okay,
come on.
because like Pac is like, oh, the Black Mist is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I can truly see for the first time, and now I'm gonna beat your asses. And I kind of want Julia to be like, I can truly see for the first time too, and I love it, and I'm teaming up with you guys.
I love it. This is great. Oh my god, the Black Mist tasted like grape Kool-Aid. I love it here. And Pac's like, fuck, I hate grapes.
Which is actually
Shit
kind of
in it.
interesting when you like start to think about it, because that means there's been 3. Was Griff Garrison blacklisted?
No,
I don't think so.
I think he was just
Pat got
kicked
it
really hard in
twice.
the head.
Pat got it twice, and then Julia got it once. So there's been
Also, I
3.
think Cody Rhodes was blacklisted once.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes was
But Cody
blacklisted.
is so like in his own head and so like crazy that he cannot be changed.
Cody isn't even involved in like any of the storylines. He's just doing his own thing.
Cody
That's kind of like where I was kind of like heading. Like, it's interesting to think that the Black Mist has right now, as far as we know, 3 different effects on a person. It either does nothing, it makes them better and makes them stronger in their own morals, or it solely turns them to the side of the House of Black.
That's crazy. It's like the Fiend back in the Fed, except that's actually like the planned thing that they're doing instead of people being like, "Oh, I see this like cool thing." And they're like, yeah, that's what we meant." That's cool.
I really like what they've been doing with the House of Black and kind of like the direction it looks like it's going to be going in. Because we need more goth representation. We need more just straight up evil bitch representation.
More evil
And
people.
I think I've said this before, maybe on recap, but it seems kind of like with the House of Black, they're kind of doing what the Dark Order originally set out to do, and like the Dark Order ended up just kind of like falling into the role as faces because with the
Yeah.
people who got put in the Dark Order, there wasn't really any option. But
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's like you put all of these like charming and charismatic guys, and that's not to say that like Malachi Black or Brody King aren't charming and charismatic. I'm sure that they are. It's just that
Mhm.
like that's not a side of them that we've been shown. Whereas
Yeah,
on
they're
BTE,
they're
we were shown
they're
that like,
comedy evil.
hey, these guys are fucking funny. They're little crackheads. I love them. And
Yeah,
then it's like,
they're
Yeah.
ah,
they're comedy evil. They're like cartoon villain evil.
yeah.
Whereas like the House of Black are like a legitimate cult,
Yes.
and I think like I do think it'll be cool to see where they go with that storyline and have somebody who's like legitimately just like evil. Like I think that'll be good to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I also really like about the House of Black and a few other wrestling gimmicks like them. I just really love dark, spooky, uncanny type story with like layers upon like ones that would belong in a horror movie or in a horror
Mhm.
game.
We get it. You love the
And
brood.
I was thinking about Rosemary the whole time, but that also works.
Yeah, no, but like I get where you're coming from. It's like,
It's almost
you
like
know,
it's almost like a creepy pasta brought to life, but it's actually good and not completely cheesy like some other scary gimmicks have been.
Sonic.exe stable.
You know what? I would
yeah,
actually be for that.
I know you would. That's the
no, like
thing.
there's some
I'm easy to
mystery to
please.
it. There's some intrigue, like what exactly is the Black Mist? What is the House of Black Skulls? All that. Like there's some, some
Layers.
there's some stuff to be built up and
They're
some
like
stuff to be
onions.
like uncovered over time. They are like onions.
Onions have
I could
layers.
see Malachi Black making one of those like funky ARG RPG maker games like You May Nikki.
I've
Like
been
that's
saying
the
that
energy I'm getting.
I've been saying this for a while. I think that in order to like promote or like tell the story partially of like of a feud, they should have like an ARG, you know?
I would love
Like
that.
where
That'd be very
like maybe
cool.
like you start with like fucking Alistair, sorry. Malachi like posting on his Twitter like a picture. And it's just like a random picture. And you do that fucking Scott Cawthon thing where you turn the brightness up all the way and there's a hidden message in the background and the hidden message is like a encrypted message in base 64. You undo the base 64, it sends you to a website. The website's like a House of Black website that has like all of this really interesting stuff, but also part of it is written in its own language, and you have a bunch of people working together to uncrack that, and then you can read all these things about like the rules of the House of Black, and then that takes you to something else. And like for the first people who get there, they get like some special prize or whatever. Like I think that would be so cool cuz I know that there are some crazy ass motherfuckers on the internet who would go
Who will
absolutely
figure that shit out.
banana for
God,
that.
yeah.
That's honestly kind of
Especially
like
for the
what I was expecting
IWC.
with joindarkorder.com. Like that's kind of what I thought it was going to
Oh
be, and then you
yeah.
just you just
And then
put
it
your
wasn't.
email in.
Impact kinda did that. And I mean very, very kinda. Back when they did the Aces and Eights storyline, there was, I think it was either, they did set up a Twitter for the Aces and Eights, and they would put like a bunch of like cryptic tweets up there, and there were a few tweets that were like hinting at who is the leader of the aces and eights, even though it didn't actually turn out to be who they were hinting at. And it
Don't
was
you love
like
that?
kind of ARG, but kind of not. Like it didn't go past the Twitter, but it was still kind of it was there.
It was like a little special bonus features on the DVD.
You know, they tried.
You gotta appreciate an attempt. Next is Britt Baker and Tony Schiavone.
DMD.
DMD, of course. Tony Schiavone is like, here's my best friend Britt, and then out comes Britt, and she's like, I'm from Pittsburgh. You are from Cleveland. Fuck Cleveland. I'm the coolest. Look at all of
Football, sports.
sport ball. Look at all of my
Achievements.
look at all of my achievements. And she's like, here's my award for being the most improved wrestler. And I'm like, that's a bit of a weird one to gloat, but also like I'm very
Weird
happy
flex,
for you.
okay.
And
it's
like
right, but
the whole
you're admitting that
segment,
you were right.
like I loved her flexing, and I'm like, yes, flex. I love all of your awards. I love that you're like a dope bitch. But the whole time I was sitting there and I was waiting, like, all right, when's like the face gonna come out and like tell Britt off and like set up her next feud? Oh, we didn't get that. We just got Britt
No.
talking about
Yeah,
herself
she just
for like 5
she
minutes.
came
that
up,
was it.
she talked about her awards, and then she left. Also, like when they talk about the PWI awards, the only thing I can think of is the picture of Jade next to the picture of Kenny, where he looks like so much shorter than her.
And it's literally like, don't talk to me or my son ever again. He
Yeah,
asked
or
for
like
pickles.
high school volleyball players and their coach.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that's what PWI is to me. Yeah, that was kind of a boring promo. Like it didn't really set up for a match or anything.
It
Like,
was
she's-
really just woo Steelers, fuck Cleveland, the promo.
Yeah, like she's good on the mic, but
Like it
and
was
like
entertaining, but
yeah, she's
it
good
led
on the
to
mic. Her
nothing.
confidence is good, but she kept talking about football, and
It just kind of proves how easy you can anger a crowd just by mentioning football.
I mean,
this
that
is
was
something
like,
relevant to your city.
I mean, that was kind of like, that's like been a thing for a long time. You always go after like the city favorites and those kind of things. But like,
Mhm.
one
Yeah.
that immediately springs to my mind is like, that was Elias's whole thing back in the Fed, where
That
he
was.
would rock up in a place with his guitar, sing a song, and then halfway through the song be like, hey, your fucking local sports team shit. And then the people would boo
SCU,
for like
that
5
was kind
minutes.
of their thing.
They literally,
Um,
this is the worst town I've ever been in.
That
And
was
then you'd be
literally
like,
their
no,
shirt.
it's not.
I saw a tweet the other day from a band, like not even a wrestler or anything, but like there was a tweet that said gonna keep a spreadsheet of every football team in America for when we finally do a national tour, so every city we play I can give a shout out to their rival and make all the jocks hate me. And then somebody replied and said, I've said before, we need DIY heel bands.
Yes.
And like yeah, you just go for the football team. You just go for the football team or the sports team or whatever, and that's how you get people to hate you.
Really. Like that meme, I was just like, Britt Baker's so popular, it can kind of be easy to forget she's a heel. And then she just had to say Pittsburgh, and then I was like, oh yeah, we're supposed to hate you.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, Baker Mayfield sucks. I'm a Baker that actually wins. And I was like, clever line. But also, like, I don't.
But also, who is Baker Mayfield?
But
As
also,
someone who's
what?
not really into football, I'm like, okay, cool, I guess. That's fine.
You know, I hate that the Chiefs have become like good and relevant because now I'm expected to know and care about football. I miss when the Chiefs sucked ass, and then if I said, "Oh yeah, I don't watch football, the Chiefs suck," people would be like, "Yeah, that's fair."
What
Right?
state are the Chiefs?
Missouri/Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas City,
Got
Missouri.
it.
Nyla Rose comes out, like, as they're announcing the
Nyla.
matches for next week, Vicky comes out and is like, excuse me! And I was like, first of all, listen to her. We love Vicky Guerrero. And then Nyla is like, so Ruby Soho got a fluke win over me, and I want revenge. I would really like to beat her up. Can we have a match, please? And literally, like, JR and Tony Schiavone are looking at her like, "We can't do anything for you. Why are you screaming at us?" And then
I think one of them
Excalibur's
even
like,
goes
"You
like,
lost because you got pinned."
I think one of them even says something like, "Ask your manager and she'll do it. She'll help you," or something like that.
Yeah, it's like, I appreciate that they did this so we can get, like we can have, like, more stuff for, like, Nyla and Ruby, but this was a little bit of a weird way to, like, go about it. Like, why can't we have Nyla literally, like, picking Tony Khan 20 feet off of the ground because he's fucking tiny, throwing him into some lockers and saying, "Let me fight Ruby!" I would have liked that rather, honestly.
I mean, I do love
Violence on
Nyla,
Tony Khan.
and I do love Nyla. I do love Ruby. I will take any opportunity to see them in the ring together. But yeah, like I think Tony Khan should be afraid of Nyla Rose. And I want I want Tony Khan being just utterly shaking in his boots, terrified of Nyla, to be like a part of like the canon.
Exactly.
It's what she deserves.
All right. That leads us to the main event. Dumbass
Oh
little
boy.
fucking Justin Roberts waddles his way into the ring and says, "The lights will be suspended for our lights out match. Anything that happens during this time, AEW is not liable for, and none of this will be on our records when the lights come back up." And then out come them doing their entrances, and I'm like, very cool, very nice. How did we
All about the
feel?
boom.
We'll get to the big thing that happened during this match, but in a general sense, how did you feel about this lights out main event?
I really liked it.
Very fun. I didn't think about it before, but I did just see a point that makes sense. It wasn't really a lights out match, but
Yeah,
it
it
was
wasn't like
still,
super violent. No one got
yeah, but
busted open.
it was still very, very fun. There were a lot of fun spots.
Like in
Yeah, I
comparison
think
to the sorry, what?
I think like they should have just like booked it as a false count anywhere match.
Yeah, that's
Because
what
like
it ended up being.
yeah, like with a lights out match, you kind of expect more violence and
Yeah.
more danger and more blood and stuff. And like there were some spots that were like pretty
The
gnarly,
most
but
blood
like
was on Orange Cassidy's hand.
Yeah, and it
mhm.
wasn't like
I I wanted one of them to bleed more than that. At
buckets.
least one of them.
If I
I
would have seen
love
Orange
blood.
Cassidy bleeding buckets, I would have died
Oh my, I
Yeah,
think
me
right
everyone
too.
would
there.
have died.
Yeah, I would have just like laid down and let myself pass away. My life would be complete.
It's over. My thing is like, so I get that the feeling that the only reason they did this lights out match was because it's unsanctioned, so it doesn't show up on anyone's record. So they're like, "Hey, we can beat Adam Cole and let Orange Cassidy finally like win something. So, oh, congratulations, Orange, you beat someone important after losing a few month feud to Matt Hardy, who didn't go on to do anything. But congratulations, Orange. You got your win back on Adam Cole, but it doesn't go on your record and it doesn't go on his record, and he's still the number one contender, and you're not, and he's gonna go on and do great things and probably challenge Adam Page for the title. And you know what you're gonna do, Orange? We don't know. Who knows what he's
Up
gonna
in the
do?
air, yeah.
Because like that's kind of how all of these end, right? It's like,
Yeah.
congratulations, Orange, you pinned Chris Jericho at All Out 2020. What did you do with that? You lost a couple of title matches to Cody Rhodes. Cool. Like,
I
okay, I
wish
guess.
they'd give better stuff to Orange Cassidy, and I think the reason why they don't is, and like with the best friends in general, like
Yeah.
I remember people saying like the other week or the other day when Trent and Nick had the match on Rampage, they were like, yeah, like finally the best friends got a win in this feud, like otherwise it would just look like they like getting their asses beat every week.
Exactly.
They
It's like these guys
Yeah.
have a
love. They have
uh,
done this ever since, like, best friends have. They love to book one-sided best friends feuds.
oh
they
That
yeah,
is
just
and
not on the best friend side until the very, very end.
I think
Miro,
the
it
reason
was one-sided.
okay,
Matt, one-sided.
I think the reason they do this, especially with Orange Cassidy, is because like Orange especially is very kind of like derisive within fans. Like some people are like, "Yep, he's great, he's wonderful, we love the gimmick," and then other people are like, "This guy is a sham. He's like he's an insult to pro wrestling and what it should be and blah blah blah. And like you get a lot of that stuff directed at him. And like with comedy teams in general, the best friends are more of like a comedy group. So like you let Orange get the win for the people who really like him, but it's an unsanctioned match and it's not on the record, and he's not going to get a title shot because of it or anything like that. So that the people who think Orange is a disgrace and hate fun, they'll keep watching.
It it's very interesting, and, like, I'm trying to take, like for once, I'm trying to be, like, level-headed about something, and, like, I can get it, and I can also, like, not get it, you know? It's like, I get why, like, these teams lose all the time, you know? It's kinda like, everybody needs that team that constantly get their asses whipped all the time,
Yeah,
and it's just
everyone loves an
like
underdog.
and like it kind of adds to them being more like real people, I think, because like if I was a wrestler, I would lose all the time. I have a feeling I'd lose all the fucking time. But like
Me too. I don't have that in me.
but like even still, it still makes them kind of like oh, the guy like a couple of guys that you would meet at a bar like daring each other to drink like a more crazy drink than the other one and like getting into fights and stuff. And then while they
And
do
then having their
lose,
mom pick them up.
yeah, and while they do lose, they still come back in the end. They get back up on that horse, they ride off into the sunset, they try again. Sure, they get their asses kicked, but every once in a while they do come out on top because every once in a while the dog has its day. And while I don't necessarily agree with like some things and I feel like at the same it's a double-edged sword because at the same time it's just like you have this team and like this actually I mean really this goes for like a lot of different people like on the roster just in wrestling in general. You have a person, a group, whatever, and they're well liked, you know? They have like maybe a bit of a niche following, but they're generally liked. They're not like a hated thing, you know? And like it you can't have someone lose all the time because then eventually it's like when they do win, it's like, well, who the fuck cares? They're just gonna lose again. Or like, that doesn't make any sense. They never win. How did they win? Or like, if they just keep losing, you lose interest, you know? You can't.
And sometimes that can make the people that they lose against also look bad.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it's like
exactly.
you're just beating them while they're down.
Yeah, and
It's
it's also
very.
like it's also like it also makes the person that they win against look bad because it's like all these people could beat them, but you couldn't.
Hmm.
Yikes, you know? But like,
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of a general thing with those guys. Like, that's just kind of like a booking thing that I think a lot of people have noticed for like that faction specifically. And like, I guess only time will tell if that sort of thing changes, which is kind of like separate because, okay, in general, the match tonight, the lights out match, I quite liked it. I thought it was good. I don't think it should have been a lights out match,
Yeah,
considering like it could have just been a street fight, but
yeah.
they had to go with the lights out stipulation because they had to cop out that win. They were like, we can't have Cole take his first loss yet, but we
Hmm.
can't have Orange
Yeah,
lose. They booked themselves into a corner.
he can't lose to the guy who puts his hands in his pockets.
Yeah. Also, marketing.
Also,
Hmm.
marketing, because everyone's gonna get it. Because the last lights out match we had was at St. Patrick's Day Slam last year, my favorite match of 2021 with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, where both of them were covered in blood. It was a brutal affair. And in this one, it was just kind of the only, like, really lights out. Jesus, I just fucking threw up in my mouth. um, the only kind of thing that we really saw was like, oh, Orange's hand's a little fucked up. Oh no.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
Like
like
there was some foul play. Like he had the thing with the chain. They like climbed up high and then jumped down and all that. But
he
like
had a
it was.
trash can put on him during a picture in picture and then kicked. It
Hmm.
was really funny.
But like it really should have been like a street fight or a falls count anywhere or something
There
like
was
that.
really nothing. There were some spots that we like have never seen before, but at the same time, there were a lot of spots that we've seen before in just regular no disqualification matches.
Yeah, it's it's not necessarily tame because they did do some like pretty dangerous spots, but
Yeah.
it's tame for a lights out match.
Yes.
And I love men covered in blood. That's like my whole thing. Men covered in blood.
Shout out
Love
to
it.
people
Love it.
covered in
Can't get
blood.
enough of
Gotta be
it.
one of my favorite genders.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
Um,
I want more blood.
but like just in general, I think that this match was like serviceable. I think it was a cool
I
Yeah,
will
segment.
it
say,
was good. I liked watching it. We get a lot of good memes out of it. There was a thing with the for this whole feud, Adam keeps punching Orange in the dick. Like every single fucking week, he punches Orange in the dick.
he was
And
prepared this time.
yeah, this in this match, he goes for the dick shot, and then he like pulls his hand away, and he's like ah, and Orange like pulls his pants all the way down and pulls out a steel cup with thumbtacks like glued to it. Um,
Like this man bejazzled a fucking athletics cup and was like, "Gotcha, bitch." And then he hits Adam in the dick on his own, and I'm like, I do like that they finally paid that off because after like probably like 6 weeks of Orange getting kicked in the dick, I was like, they know
every
something I
single
Oh my
don't.
time.
god, this feud was just the Shinsuke Nakamura AJ Styles feud, but it worked.
Oh, don't
And
talk.
it
I don't. No, not low blows.
Low
Bizarre
Blows
adventure.
Bizarre Adventure.
Not my joke. Not
um,
me being mean. That was from someone else. But
I would like to bring us back just a moment and talk about how when Orange like pulls the cup out of his pants, he like pulls his pants down and like throws his ass back, and the
To
camera like
show
zooms
out.
in on his crotch, and it's like y'all like
they knew what they were doing, and I find that hilarious.
I appreciate it. I'll take it. Sure, let's go. We know that Orange Cassidy can throw it back like a professional, so
Oh god. Another thing that I really liked about this match. Also, just to get this out of the way, Orange Cassidy does win this match against Adam Cole after they both fall off of a off the top of
A little
the
like
face
the like
entrance
tunnel.
tube.
scaffold.
They fall off of the face tunnel into like through the ground. Like it's kind of scary, honestly,
It
Hmm.
especially
was
like
almost
in
They
the replay.
Shakespearean in a sense.
yeah.
Especially in the
They
replay because
they
Adam
hug
Cole
at the
almost goes
top.
vertical, and I'm like, if he wasn't tucking his chin, he would have like broke his fucking neck in that kind of fall. And
Uh,
Orange gets the
Orange like gives him a hug at the top and then like jumps off with him.
they're like he's hugging him. Adam's trying to like
He
wiggle
like
free.
shaking his head
They look
frantically,
at
like
each
no, 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 no.
like they look at each other. You think like they're about to like kiss or something, and then
It
Orange looks
really
back
looked
and
like
he's
they were
like,
gonna kiss.
he's literally like, if I'm going down, you're going down with me, and they both go down, and I'm
I
like,
thought Orange was going to push him off, long live the king, Lion King
Me
style,
too.
and then he just goes down with them.
I
Just
will
both of
And then
them.
they
say
both like crash through the stage.
a couple
Yeah,
of
just there
things.
they go.
A couple of things in my thought. One, he was not hugging him tight enough for me. Like he was like I
No.
get his whole thing is that like he was holding him really lazily, but like come on, Adam Cole couldn't wiggle his way out of that little like
Yeah,
that
I
hug.
was thinking that.
He could have
Like he
hugged him
could
a
have just
little
either.
tighter.
I thought that's what he was going to do, and then he didn't.
And then
Hmm.
the other thing that I think is really important at the end of the match, Chuck Taylor goes down into the pit and he pulls Orange out, and Chuck is there, or Trent is there helping him. Yuta's holding him up. Like they're all there like pulling their friend out of the wreckage to save them. Adam's friends are nowhere to save him.
I didn't notice that.
Like Orange and the
Ooh.
best friends are there willing to help each
Ooh.
other. But Adam's friends, Dead Dragon
That's a
and
surprise tool that'll help us later.
yeah, and the
And
Young Bucks
also
are
like
nowhere to be found to
okay,
help
the Young
Adam.
Bucks and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, they had like come out earlier during the match to go and
Yeah.
like, mess some shit up,
Yeah.
but they weren't there to help him up. They didn't help
And
him
like
up at the
the
end.
thing is that like somebody could argue, oh, they were just beat up because they all got into a brawl with the other best friends and all that. It's like, oh, they were just beat up. But the thing is, so were the best friends. They were
Yeah.
also beat up.
And they're all
Friendship will
there. Like, they
prevail.
even brought fucking Rocky Romero with them. They were like, our friend, our other partner in Best Friends and Chaos, we brought him with us, but like...
Was Chris there? I don't think Chris was there, but
No,
she
she
had her
wasn't.
spot
No,
earlier.
Chris was not there.
She
Neither was
she had her
Sue.
thing earlier.
Sue was not there either. But also, I will say, Kyle O'Reilly was not at the show today because he had his daughter born last week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So he was not there.
Oh,
Yeah. He
That's
gets
cool.
he gets
Kyle
gets a
O'Reilly was
pass. He gets a
excused.
pass.
You were busy being a dad.
But
You
like
get-
Brandon
you get
Cutler
passed.
comes out with Cold Spray, Wheeler Yuta beats him up, Bobby Fish comes out, Chuck Taylor takes out Bobby, the Young Bucks take out Chuck, Trent and Rocky take out the Young Bucks, and then Cassidy goes for the beach break on beach break. And then, you know, Adam kicks out. The biggest thing though that I think that happened in this match is towards the beginning. Adam Cole goes to pull a chair out from under the ring and he can't get the chair out. He's like, "What the fuck?" And like honestly, I was thinking like maybe like a best friend was under there or something.
I
I was like,
paying
"Oh,
attention at
Dustin
first,
and
I'm not
Greg are
gonna lie.
making out under the fucking ring again."
Under the bleachers, Jesus.
God, they're
Dead?
kissing under the bleachers. No, he pulls it out. On the other side is Danhausen. Internet sensation. Very nice. Very evil.
screamed.
I screamed.
I did
was
too.
so
I like
good.
legitimately screamed.
The
'Cause,
live
like-
crowd was so excited.
They
went
popped
nuts.
hard.
They
So hard
did.
because everybody loves Danhausen except for dupers on the
Okay.
internet
Gotta
who say
love
he's
that
ruining
Danhausen.
wrestling.
Oh, except
that
for the Gun
Danhausen.
Club. The Gun Club doesn't like Danhausen.
The
Austin
assholes.
Gunn's
Colton
tweet.
don't like Danhausen. Billy does. Austin Colton don't.
Austin Gunn's tweet when they announced this. It's just a picture of like Danhausen and Holly. He says, "My life is fucking over," and I'm like, "That's
Okay.
His name on Twitter now is Danhausen is not elite.
I love that. I need
Okay.
a clip of them on BTE next week.
The crowd was so excited, and Danhausen, he comes out from under the ring, he like points at Adam Cole, he does his like little like curse hands, and then he just walks away.
He
just
leaves!
walks the
He
fuck
fucking
away.
leaves.
He doesn't-
He doesn't help anybody, and he leaves. It's the perfect debut.
He does a little thumbs up like Orange does, and then like he leaves. Like he literally scurries away like a rat. And then like Orange throws Adam into the barricade and turns around to look at Danhausen like halfway up the ramp and is like,
And he's like,
What
what
the
the fuck is
fuck?
going on?
like even like
It makes it better when you
everyone is
remember all the stuff
confused.
Danhausen and Orange Cassidy have done together.
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, I think this was a perfect debut for Danhausen. No rhyme, no
Absolutely
reason,
was.
no hype.
He's just a funky
he's
little
under
dude.
the ring.
He's just down there.
He's just a little guy who lives under the ring. And like
My favorite thing is that there was a good chance, like, before they made the Danhausen is all elite tweet, there was a good chance that this could have either been his debut or just a quick one-off
Yeah, just like a
thing.
cameo.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
This would be like the craziest cameo ever. But like at the same time, I would hope it would kind of continue like every week. Like he would kind of pick up what Orange Cassidy used to do, like in the beginning days, where like it would just
Where
like
he's always hiding somewhere.
like he pops up in really weird places, and he's like the fucking
God.
Stan Lee cameo in Marvel movies, where he's
Please.
like, he's like driving some like car, or there
He's
he is
just
like
in
in
the
a
cabinet.
locker.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like sitting in a pool, like he's just in weird places.
Just around.
And they're like,
Also,
"Hey,
there was, like,
Danhausen, how come you've been showing up on AEW all the time? Are you all elite?" And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what it is. I've been trying to
looking
get
for
a job."
AEW.
He's like, he's like, "I am finally all..." What does A and W stand for? The root beer company? It's like all
No clue.
raw
Root beer.
I'm Google it.
Arut Wabeer.
Root
beer.
beer. I want some root beer real bad. I actually don't like root beer. I hate root beer. I'm more of a cream soda person, if I have to pick.
Allen and Wright.
At
The company was taken from the initials of the original creators' last names, Allen and Wright.
I used to
Do you
really
ever think
like
that
root
Allen and
beer,
Wright have
not
explored
super
each
into
other's
it.
bodies?
Stop.
No.
He acted on my right until.
Am I right? It's
Ow.
it's I think that was a perfect debut for him. I think it was really
It
cute.
absolutely was.
Yeah, it was
Very
great.
good chance that he was underneath that ring the whole show.
Yeah, it's like
Very good chance.
he either was underneath the ring the whole show, or like when they turned the lights off at the start of the match, he just had to like fucking book it down the ramp and like dive under the ring before the lights turned back on.
See, I read a tweet that was like, he just lives under there, and like he was like, "Oh, the lights went out. Must be time for me to come out." And there's like a match still going, so he's like, "Oh no, I've been found out." He's like the mole people.
He's Hornswoggle, but actually funny.
See, that's the thing. Hornswoggle was at GCW this past week.
That's
Danhausen was
right.
also there, and Hornswoggle was like, "Hey, I got something cool under the ring if you just meet me under there and I'll give it to you." And Danhausen's like, "Okay." And he goes like under the ring and then he comes back out and he's like, "Whoa. I made it to what is it? Arthur and Relish? I don't right? I don't know what you said."
Right.
Cross promotion booking. That's how he ended up under the ring at AEW. That's how he learned how to do it.
All of the rings have magical portals underneath them like Skylanders, and they
They're
just
all
fucking
connected.
appear.
It's like how every McDonald's in the world is the same.
I miss McDonald's from
Exact.
like 2004 when they had them like little N64s inside of like the play places and they had like the colorful chairs and stuff.
Fun fact, there was never one of those from what I remember at any of my McDonald's, but we still had we still had the play place, and like there was one that had like this little like, it was like a smaller, like for like the smaller kids that couldn't go on the big slides, and they were like the weird like plastic things you climb on
Yeah.
of like different foods that they also have at malls sometimes. I don't know what that's made out of. I don't know what to call that.
That like
I
weird, like slightly squishy plastic stuff.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I don't know.
That
God.
makes me think. So it's very commonly known that like best friends have this thing where like they're in really long feuds that aren't very good, but they have that one match at the end that's really good, and it's always like a weird gimmick match no one's ever fucking heard of, and then they never do it again. I think that the next one should be best friends versus the Young Bucks in a McDonald's Tunnel Town match where they're fucking no, hear me out, dude, hear me out, dude. Like they're in like this big like thing, right? And it's like it's almost like a King of the Mountain thing where they got to get to the top and they're fighting each other in like these little tubes. Greg gets thrown out of the top of one. Nick goes sliding face down a thing. Someone like gets some like kid's gum stuck in their hair or balding head.
Like the Young Bucks and Butcher and the Blade match that they had that was like
Oh, like
all
in the
backstage and went in like the kitchen and all that, or like the Stadium Stampede with the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle where they went all over the place, but just in a McDonald's.
I think like this would be so terrible, but it'd be so fucking funny. And like, could you imagine if it just like cuts to a scene and it's just like it's something that was very clearly filmed like 40 minutes before the match, and it's all four of them like sitting in like a booth and they're all like eating chicken nuggets and like
It's
hanging
almost
out,
like
and then Matt's like, "Can you pass the ketchup?" And Greg's like, "I ate all the ketchup." And then Matt's like, "Fuck you!" And he like just it's like it would be the most stupid ludicrous thing, but I think it'd be
it's almost like the Dash Con
hilarious.
ball pit idea I had, but like better.
It's
What is
either
your
that
dash
or they
on
do
ball
it in
pit
one of
idea?
those
Oh, I never told you my okay. So
it's
imagine this blood feud, like this very long, elaborate blood feud between two brothers, one who has betrayed the other, and it's just whole emotional, layered storyline, kind of like Kenny and Hangman, but between brothers. And
Like
it
3 years
ends
in
in
the
the
making.
Dashcon ball pit. The last match of the feud is in the Dashcon ball pit.
Perfect. Gorgeous. Perfect. Incredible.
It's either they have a match in some place like that, or like those trampoline parks. Can we have a match in a
Oh my
trampoline
god.
park? And then it ends with like one of the people drowning in the foam pit because they don't know how to get
Just
out.
Like Terminator, like the whole like, and then the thumbs up and then they're down. Or can we have a match at a Chuck E. Cheese and we do a spot with the mascot and the
Dude,
robot?
I was just saying that to Colin in chat. I was saying, like, when are we getting our fucking FNAF match? And, like, he's calling upon the power of Freddy Fazbear. And then the commentators are like, oh, he's not gonna get out. Gregory, you're not gonna get out of there. And then, like, someone's, like, fist fighting, like, one of the, fucking Charles Entertainment Cheese. And, like, another person is like, this pizza tastes weird. I don't know. It's just
there is
only
a
crackpot ideas here.
there is a
Go to
really
City,
really old.
go to like one of those like Smitty Super Service Station or like Creative Engineering where like they have just like a bunch of older Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz animatronics. Just like go there and just go nuts. Or just like go to one of those places that has the animatronics, but like they never took care of them.
There is a very, very old video on the BTE channel where they're like outside of a KFC and there's like a statue of Colonel Sanders and they're like yelling at the statue of Colonel Sanders and one like there's someone like behind it like moving it around and they're like, oh, do you want to fight? Do you want to go? Like take that, blah blah blah. And I'm imagining that.
That would be a Kenny Omega match. I think Kenny Omega should wrestle Charles Entertainment Cheese.
I would pay good money for that. He's
Agreed.
fought a sex doll. He's fought a 9-year-old girl. Just fight Chuck E. Cheese. I would.
Just do it. Do it already. Yep.
A 2-on-1 against the mascot Chucky and the animatronic Chucky.
Chuck Taylor fights Chuck E. Cheese for right of the name Chuck.
I still need to draw Chuck Taylor as Chuck E. Cheese. Still need to do that.
What a weird way to end our episode. In general, I think this episode of Dynamite, A&W fucking root beer was a pretty good episode, you know? It ended with everyone hugging and it going off the air pretty happy. No Sue, which is very disappointing. I think Sue should have been there. Where she comes in, like she's the one who turns the lights on and is like, boys, I thought I told you to go to bed. It's past your bedtime. And they're like, Mom, we were watching a movie. And she's like, what movie?
Trent and Orange like staying up late at night in Trent's room playing with their action figures.
I
do like a Toy Story.
Can we get that?
It's all a dream trope.
Can we get another fucking animated one, except it's them playing with toys? And then, but also somehow I still get my little, like, you've saved the day again, Hangman. We still get that somehow. And it's like, oh, look, Orange is playing with the fucking Hangman doll. I bet he wants to go for the world title. And then Adam's like, you could have just asked, you fucking weirdo. I would have loved to fight you, and instead you make a whole animated feature about playing with me as a doll. Kind of weird, not gonna lie.
I would like to say I've had several thoughts on what I want from Danhausen's run in AEW, but the thing that I want the most is I want him to be friends with Abaddon.
Oh my
and
god.
like so Abaddon is like just and I want him to be able to like understand what they're saying. Like they only like growl and like menace at people and they don't ever speak. And I want Danhausen to like be able to understand them and be able to talk to them. So they're just like ah, and Danhausen's like, oh yes, that's a very good idea.
I love that.
And, like, they're just like weird best friends. And also, I need more Abaddon. They're incredible, and they don't get enough time.
I agree.
We also just
more Abaddon.
very obviously need Danhausen and the Ass Boys.
Yes, of course, the Ass Boys.
That is a legal requirement.
Okay, I want Danhausen and Billy Ass against Austin and Colton in like a tag match.
That please. The ass boys chants would ring for miles.
Danhausen really got the gun club like so over with the ass boys thing.
Oh yeah, without fucking them,
Yeah.
where would they be right now?
Yeah, like they're
I feel like they wouldn't be like not popular and not like liked.
but
But
now
I
it's like
don't
a
know if we would
meme
have
and a
gotten to
thing that
this
people
level.
talk about. Yeah.
It's kind of like how like similar with what happened to Hook, where like, oh, Hook was
Yeah.
kind of a joke, or like not like a joke, but like, oh, like, yo, look at this Hook, we're hookers. And then CM
Kids.
Punk says send Hook, and everyone's like, I'm in on this meme. And then he debuts and he has all these great matches, and people are like, all right, I'm actually like no longer a joke. I'm in on
It's
Hook.
kind of
Hook
I'm
is
actually
cool.
a hooker.
I think that they could
Hookers
probably
rise
try
up.
to turn that success around like that for the Gun Club as well. Like they kind of start out as like an ass boys joke, and then it's just like,
Yeah.
oh wow, like Austin and Colton can really wrestle. Oh wow, I
Yeah,
forgot that
building
like
It
a
also
Billy
feud.
Gunn
really
was the
helps
ass
that
man.
they're
Like he was
currently
cool.
heels. Them being heels and getting very upset about the ass boys thing really helps.
Hmm. Like I don't usually watch Dark, but like I'll go through and like watch like one or two matches with like the people that I like. So like on Dark yesterday there was it was the Acclaimed and the Gun Club against some people from the Dark Order. And like in there the like Acclaimed rap, Max is like, y'all are gonna get beat by Acclaimed and the Ass Boys, and then like Austin and Colton start like getting all mad at him, and like Excalibur is like, oh yes, the ass boys, the ass children, the boys of ass. And it's just like, yeah, they're
Oh,
so over. Like they're entertaining to watch now because they have this ass boys thing that they get so
I've
mad
always
about.
loved. I've been here since the beginning. I've been correct. You all have seen my vision.
I would just like to say, long before Danhausen made the ass boys joke, I've been calling them dad ass and the ass children for a very long time, okay?
That is true.
I've been
You have
calling them
been
the
Danhausen
ass
correct.
actually
children for a
stole
long
that joke
time.
from you.
Do what?
Danhausen actually stole that joke from you.
Yeah, where are my royalties, Danhausen? I'm kidding. I'm sure that
Come on,
someone would
Danny.
like find this and be like, "Can you believe the audacity of this bitch actually thinking that like da 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 da?" And I'm sure I would get misgendered by this crackpot on the internet, and then everyone would be like, "Who cares? That is a podcast on Twitch that no one watches. It's a joke."
It really is a joke.
Some people just not funny, I've noticed. Like either people don't like fun or they're just not funny and don't get comedy. I'm like, that's on you, not me. Thank you all so much for watching recap this week. It was definitely a bit more of a hectic episode, but you know what? I feel like it was kind
That's
of a
what
hectic
happens when you
show.
put 3 people in a room that know exactly what we're all talking about.
Not only that, but all of us are the kind of person who it's like, I have to say the thing that I'm thinking of right now or I'll forget. And then we all talk over each other and
There's
get
a
too
lot of
excited.
crosstalk.
Oh, yeah. Daisy, tell them where they can find you on the internet.
My main thing is you can mostly find me on Twitter at yellow__Daisy. That's my big. Pretty much just go there and you'll find
It's cool
There's
Twitter.
also like a link in my Twitter bio where you find wherever else I'm at.
August, tell them where they can find you.
Man, I don't have anything to plug. I don't want people looking at my shit.
You can find August every week right here on Liz Was Streaming for an episode of Recap.
Yeah.
And on Tumblr at Dr. You're like, no.
Yeah,
Awesome.
And then I'm here, and I'm sure you could figure out other shit. It's the internet. People are
We're
really good
here.
at like finding this creepy stuff via like catfish or like what is the don't fuck with cats. Liz, tell them about August's.
Oh, that's a joke because yesterday on the stream in the comments I was making jokes about how you
I don't actually. Wait, it's even worse. Daisy, I'll explain to you off the air. Because it's
yeah
actually now
about
you are now
your
involved.
your
This
I'm trying to
involves
look at
you.
the chat and I disconnected.
Oh yeah, you and Daisy's.
I'm gonna beat your ass. I know where you live. We're gonna wrestle. We're gonna be the main event of the Royal Rumble.
Let's go.
As if I'm even. I'm verified. I am not verified. I'm what's the thing on associate?
Yeah.
It, I'm cool on Twitch. You can find
Oh my
me
god, you're
this
making money on
Saturday.
Twitch?
I'm kidding. No one will ever want to see me. That's the joke.
Maybe we
I'm
should do
genuinely
a
fearing the day
special.
someone goes, "Are you that person from Twitch?" And I'm like, "No." You would be thinking of another person with blonde hair and a mullet for real. I'm actually Brian Pillman Jr. Not who you think I am,
Um,
my friend.
maybe we should do a special Royal Rumble edition of recap.
Oh, like from
Oh
a
my
hotel
god.
room at a
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'll see what we can do. Thank you all so much for watching. Do you have any last thoughts on Dynamite, either of you?
The Adam Cole Orange Cassidy match was so homoerotic, and I am absolutely here for it.
I got two quick ones. One, this one's actually serious. I was worried going into the main event that it wasn't like the ladder match set like a high bar, that I was worried that like the main event wasn't going to match it. It ended up being about equal. Ladder match a little bit more of an edge, but it was a bit it didn't make everything else worthless.
See,
We were
I
good.
preferred the main event match for like comedy and entertainment value, but
Yeah.
like that's mainly what I'm here for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also the only other thing for Danhausen now that we need after a while is we need Warhorse. Warhausen at AEW, Tony Khan, do it.
TK, I'ma
Tony
beat
Khan, I
your
am
fucking
outside of
ass
your
if you don't
house.
go get Warhorse. I'm begging you. I need Warhorse. I've needed Warhorse since you fucking Warhorsed him back after he unceremoniously lost that title match to Cody Rhodes, and then you immediately like glossed over him by having Matt Cardona debut, and like he had this really like Warhorse had this sick ass theme song after being campaigned by the entire internet to get there, and then it just I need him.
Tony
need
Khan,
this
I am
man.
in Jacksonville. I am outside of your house. I am.
Outside of your house.
We need more gay tag teams in wrestling, and Warhausen is one of them.
Warhausen versus Best Friends. Only the gayest tag team will win.
Oh my god!
Actually, it's a
Please.
triple
Yeah,
threat
like-
because in my perfect world, the Golden Lovers are still a thing.
I will ascend. I would ascend if we got Warhausen versus Best Friends.
Oh my god.
I'm
I
gone.
I know that Effie has talked about how like he's okay where he is. He's like okay with GCW, and he's not really pursuing any of like the bigger leagues.
Which,
But
like, good
if we
for
got
him. Proud of Effie.
Yeah.
yeah, if we got Satanic Panic, I would ascend. I would die.
I would love some Gaytanic Panic,
You
actually.
could also just make Danhausen a new tag team with literally anybody, and it would work.
It would be, like,
Mhm.
he would be perfect anywhere they put him.
Yeah, it's like you could
And
either have
and
him like
us saying this, you know what they're gonna do?
Hmm.
We'll be like, oh, he'd be perfect with anybody. They're gonna put him in a tag team with Chris Jericho.
Oh, stop.
See, I was about to say like he could either have like a weird friendship with someone, like nobody understands why they're friends, but they get along, or they could have like he just kind of like follows somebody around, and the other person like begrudgingly puts up with him.
I like you. We could just like
That's what he
go
does
from
with
person to
MJF.
person.
He follows MJF and
He forces MJF to tag with him, like
Angie would ascend.
oh, for Angie, we gotta
Angie
get
would
them
die on
or
together.
sight.
Angie.
We gotta get Max
No,
Hausen for Angie.
I'm just imagining like MJF has like a singles match, and then like Danhausen is like in the corner of the ring the whole time, like looking for a tag. It's like it's a singles match. It doesn't work like that. But he's just like there.
That would be so funny. Can we please have that? I need that.
There's so many things you could do with Danhausen that would be just absolute gold.
I know. He was
I
like
just, like-
honestly like the perfect signing.
Yeah,
there's
and
just,
he's
like-
like he's so over already, and he has a lot of good stuff in the indies. So like, hopefully people will like
There's like
go back and
no
look at
way
his
to
old stuff
screw up
and like
Danhausen.
Knock
yeah.
on wood. Knock on
Not wood,
wood.
but I have wood over here. Ow.
Well, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this video, like this fucking video. What are you doing? I'm just kidding. You can't do that. But all of your support is very appreciated and helpful. Without you, this show would not be able to happen. I will probably see you I'll see you next Tuesday for another episode of Soul Link, and then next Wednesday/Thursday for another episode of Recap. Might see you this Saturday for a Royal Rumble thing, maybe. Apparently, literally the way that this channel works is that I'm not actually the manager of it. It's my friends who are like, "Hey, you're gonna do this thing with that cool channel you have. Dance, puppet, dance." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I just do the thing that I'm told to do, which honestly works because I don't have any motivation in any other way. Also, at some point, Daisy, we need to have another race because I don't like living with the fact that you beat me at Mario. We have to have another race at some point, and I will win.
We can figure out what game to play. You got it.
I'll figure something out. We gonna figure something out, boys. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. Would you like to do this with me? Any of you?
I'll
Sure.
do it.
I must bid you all
Did you will?
adieu.
Adieu.
And this is goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mwah. And
Good
good
night.
night. Bang. That was
Bang.
horrible.
That was so bad. That was so bad.
What's the ending of that one promo where Dustin takes his shirt off and Greg goes, "That was dog shit." Are we good? We're good. And then they turn. That was dog shit. We're good. Have a good night.
We could have just